Hello everyone, and good Erev Shabbat to you. It's Rabbi Chaitovsky with another video Dvar. Today we're going to start the newest book of our Torah, the book of Bamidbar, the fourth book of the Torah, and the Torah portion of Bamidbar almost always coincides with the Shabbat prior to Shavuot. Shavuot, Pentecost, the Feast of Weeks, celebrates, as we know, the momentous event of the big reveal of God's revelation at Mount Sinai. And I've thought a lot about revelation. It's a key idea in the Jewish tradition, and it's actually a key idea in every monotheistic faith. Every Christianity, Islam, Judaism, each of them begins with some kind of revelation. And the Jewish story of revelation is found in the book of Exodus, chapters 19 and 20. I just want to tell you a very brief story. You know, we're big baseball fans in my family, and for some odd reason, my father was a Brooklyn Dodger fan. He lived in Brooklyn, and many years ago when the Dodgers moved from Brooklyn to LA, my father's heart went with them, so we've been lifelong LA Dodger fans. And one year, the LA Dodgers were playing in Philadelphia and happened to coincide with my brother's bar mitzvah. And he decided, we knew someone who knew someone, and we were able to get, my brother was able to get an invitation to his bar mitzvah delivered to Sandy Koufax's door at the hotel, to his room at the hotel. We never heard back from Sandy Koufax, the great pitcher, the pitcher who didn't pitch on Yom Kippur, the Jewish pitcher that everyone knows about as a hero to many of us, not a religious man per se, but you know, he didn't pitch on Yom Kippur, and the Dodgers happened to lose that day, and it was, you know, it was a very interesting thing. But we never got a response. My brother never got a response back from Sandy Koufax. But I wonder, if Sandy Koufax had come to my brother's bar mitzvah, do you think that he should have brought a gift? And I guess the answer would probably be no. Showing up is the gift. For someone like Sandy Koufax to show up at my brother's bar mitzvah, my brother would say, guess who came to my bar mitzvah? Sandy Koufax. Well, I thought about that story because I think about revelation. And I know most of us are content to think about revelation for Shavuot, the giving of the Ten Commandments, the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, which is in chapter 20. Vayedaber Elohim et kol hadvarim ha'ele lemor. God spoke all of these things saying, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am the Lord your God, brought you out of Egypt, etc., etc. And that's a great thing. But a few verses earlier, in chapter 19, in verse 20, I thought of this. It says, Vayered Hashem al har Sinai. God came down to the mountain of Mount Sinai. God moved from his seat in heaven to a place on top of the mountain. God showed up for the meeting. And for time immemorial, the Jewish people are able to say, we had a meeting scheduled with God on Shavuot morning, and God showed up for the meeting. And regardless of what happened after that, regardless of the content that was contained in Revelation, do not steal, do not murder, keep the Sabbath, I am the Lord your God, regardless of that, one of the key components of Revelation was the fact that God showed up. And showing up is very important. And when God showed up, it made it easier for the people to show up as well. And it was a glorious moment of our history. It was probably the apex of our history at that time. And Revelation, it was a unique moment in world history, certainly in Jewish history, because God has never spoken so blatantly and so openly since. The challenge for us is to recognize that sometimes God does show up, and we have to show up as well. Just a little thought for Shabbat and Shavuot. I hope you have a wonderful one, and we'll see you in Shul. Shabbat Shalom.